Consultants, and we appreciate you joining us yet for another week of NRC Helpful Moments. I am joined, as usual, with Mr. Brian Devine, the president of Top Line Management and Cafe Fuel. And Brian, welcome in today. And our vice president of National Restaurant Consultants again joins us, Mr. Jared Flowers from Gilbert, Arizona. And Mr. Charlie Serreri, the president of CRS Services, is going to be our featured guest here in a moment. And Charlie, we welcome you in. So thank you for being with us.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure.
All right. So Brian, I'm going to start with you today and have you chat a little bit about Facebook and Facebook groups. And Brian Devine, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I want to talk about two things, actually. I just something that popped up for me just this morning is that Facebook is actually giving out, I think it's $100 million worth of grants right now. And I highly recommend that you at least go to the site. I do have the link, so I'll make sure that we get that posted here. We'll get it posted onto the NRC website as well. And you just follow the directions. You might qualify, you might not, but hey, find out, right? I mean, it's $100 million that they're just going to grant to people, so take advantage of that. Speaking of Facebook, I also want you to consider creating a Facebook group. And one thing that you can really take from all this is that social media, Facebook especially, is just exploding with use because people are sitting around and they're on their phones and they're looking at it. They're at their desktops looking at it, laptops, you name it. So you want to be there. And the value of having a group means that everyone that is connected to you in that group will see what you post. So you've probably heard me say it 100 times that when you have a Facebook page, a fan page, that when you post to that, you get anywhere from 1% to 3% of the people that are following you to see it. Now today, things are better. You're probably going to be somewhere closer to 5 to 7%. If you have a group, you're looking at about 80%. It jumps way up. So if you have a group that you control, then you can get your message out easier and faster, and there's no cost to this other than your time. So what you can consider is putting together that group and then talk to your fellow restaurateurs. Get them involved in that group so that it also grows for them. And then whenever any of you put out a promotion, it helps everyone. And you're seen as the one in the community that is helping. Does that all make sense?
Great, helpful moment. Appreciate it very much, Brian.
Great idea, too.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And Brian's had some great success in his local community in Broomfield, Colorado, really getting it started. So
yeah, we've been, it's about a week now. We're at almost 500, and this is all organic. We haven't spent any money on it. We're probably going to because it's going so well. But the local restaurants are just thrilled, and they're shocked that we're doing this. But why not?
Why not? So, Jared, I'm going to jump over to you and let you chat with Charlie a little bit as the phase 1 through 3 protocols start to unveil and start to go forward. So, Jared, would you please? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Richard and Brian. Thank you. You know, we invited Charlie Serreri here today. We've worked with Charlie and some other restaurants around the Valley. He's been around a long time, and he and his company have really been on the forefront of getting in front of what's going to happen as we enter into phase 1 and what new protocols need to happen, what restaurateurs need to know that maybe they don't already. And so we really appreciate Charlie being here, and I'd love to turn it over to you and just ask, you know, what is CRS doing and what sets CRS apart from everybody else as we turn the page into this new normal, and what do operators need to know about you and what your company's doing?
Okay, so thank you, first of all, Jared. I do appreciate it and hope everyone's been safe. The situation that I'm kind of doing is just fighting through ideas and brainstorming. And one of them is any touchable surface that you can possibly imagine. Because at the end of the day, you're looking around for things that you normally wouldn't clean as a restaurant janitorial cleaning company. Now we're thinking of underneath the table. Would somebody put their hands underneath the booth, tops of the booth, sides of the booth, all the things that can be touched, door handles, all the way from the soap dispenser to the very top of where you're leaning, maybe in a urinal. Sometimes men happen to lean at the tile. And there's so many other aspects. Even when you first walk in the entrance, sometimes you're waiting outside to be seated. There's areas outside there that people get comfortable. They'll sit on a bench. Maybe they'll lean on a pole. So I've created a misting system in a backpack that It's a backpack that you fill up with diluted water, a little bit of bleach, not a lot though, because bleach is very toxic. Put a little lavender scent in there and white distilled vinegar, and I have a particular mechanism that can mystify that. So when it's mystified, it's not landing so directly on one. It's in a larger mist form, so it can cover a larger area, and it's not so. It's more of a diluted mist that way. Other than that, the bar area, certain areas of the bar people lean on, it's really touchable surfaces now. And that's the key, is trying to do that 7 days a week rather than just doing that once every other night. Because soon as you get done with your shift as a restaurant, something could have happened during that, either be airborne. So it's like starting over every single night from top to bottom. I have like a little we go through like a checklist, like in football, you have a diagram and a play plan. I do that on each restaurant. Some of the restaurants have their own identity, being that some are just curbside pickup right now. But even on that note, people may want to go inside and use the restroom while they're waiting for their pickup. So you're just anticipating the normal, what anybody, a child would touch, accidentally somebody would forget to touch, the flusher on the toilet. So those types of things at this point right now.
That's great. And then as far as moving forward with a service like yourself, you're suggesting that at least for now, we should really be looking at, either A, creating a checklist where we're doing similar to what you're doing, or B, have a service that's doing this daily rather than a weekly rotation that we in the past.
Yeah, I personally think to cover your bases so the customer could feel happy. You want to list out in front of the window of the door stating some of the what you're doing aside from your website. If you're a restaurant, you want to let that customer know, okay, here's what we're doing to help out, and here's what our procedures are, so they feel very comfortable, like, look honey, look what they're doing, and it gives them more of an opportunity to sit there and relax. And I think this needs to be done 7 days a week, the cleaning. The virus can be spread through coughing, sneezing. We're going to go into allergy season here. And allergy season is going to be hard to wear a mask and sneeze. So you're going to have to anticipate areas that definitely may not have been thought of before. I think currently once a month, we should clear the dining rooms, clear as much as you can out, and do a deep fog, where this fogger goes in the middle of the restaurant. It fogs for about 2.5 hours, and then it sits, the particles land. This way, it's been a deep fog. If they can afford that, and depending on what type of establishment it is, if they have garage doors open up air and ventilation. And that ventilation, sometimes if you're in the front, sitting in a table in the very front, and you're already in that restaurant, that can be pushing some of it down toward the back. So anticipating where the wind is going, it's almost like each restaurant, you have to have a task force in management to say, okay, our restaurant needs this particular procedure for our customized restaurant.
Yeah,
That's great advice. That's great advice, Charlie. If you are interested, we'd be happy if you want to send that off to Jared. Any of these links, we'd be happy to post them on our Facebook and get the word out for you as well. Plus, provide people across the country some things that are very thought-provoking that you've brought up here today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we do appreciate you taking the time. It's great to hear a bird singing because, quite honestly, we need something positive out there. And I know your beautiful weather in Phoenix and in the valley there is probably wonderful today. That's really all I've got. Unless you have anything else, Jared? Anything else that you want to add?
No, I think this is great, and this piggybacks what we talked about last week, and it's great to have someone like Charlie help support what we're doing and support the restaurateurs that are tuning in. Thank all of you that watch our helpful moments every day or every week. Anything we can do to help, please feel free to reach out. We're always here.
Thank you very much.
Thank
That's
you,
it for
guys.
now.
Everybody stay safe.
Stay safe indeed. So thank you for now. Bye. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
All
All
right.
right. Well, Jared's gone again. Oh, Charlie's gone again. Okay.
He's like, I'm out of here.
They're gone. All right. Well, that was very helpful.
Yeah, he was great. I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was, it's a whole different subject.